as an entrepreneur and that shift from being an employee to entrepreneur, dealing with idle hands, right? Like a lot of just kind of quiet time where business isn't busy. You talked about, trying new things and experimenting. How did you think to make that productive time rather than just
still working on it? Just sitting on Tumblr trying to find inspiration work. I mean, it's stuff like that. No, I mean, like shooting a reel. I mean, I'm 44 years old. Shooting long format video, talking about a product. I totally get that. Like that's sales now. That's just me kind of doing customer outreach and stuff like that. And, a point I didn't make back, and I think that you were trying to get at was the difference in Chicago retail per kind of our conversations and kind of what I've told other people in the past is it's very consultative. So in that regard, doing the videos is a good way for me to kind of keep up that consultative type atmosphere. So trying new things and then just hoping that cuts down on the hesitation once the guys come in store, because, it's like, I've already talked about this and you've seen 2 videos on it. So maybe that'll kind of like take the edge off where we're in the Midwest, whether you're selling a car or this, you're going to get the first visit's kicking the tires. The second visit is, oh, I did all this research. How does it pan out with what you say? And then the third time is like, okay, let's try it on. Or that's the kind of the end of the second visit. And then the third one is like, okay, I've done everything. I've asked my spouse or I've saved my pennies and here's the time to do this. And I'm going to do this. But idle time, like I try not to sit there and just send emails. It's just, that to me, it feels like you're just throwing it into the abyss, your time, it's like, there's a time and a place for it. And I think it's better in kind of short runs, but I think sitting there, and if I was just going through email lists, just reaching out to people, I think I would really not be good and lose my mind. But motion in retail helps. So even if I'm on the phone, I'm trying to walk around the store and stuff like that, I mean, sitting there and looking at stuff and saying, okay, like I got to come up with some made to order stuff, or even just like brainstorming. I'm doing some collaborations with, in my industry, you don't need to do like big collaborations. It can be with clients, like collector clients or clients who are in suiting. So like I'm doing Alden, that Alden was really not, my rep really pushed back on one of the makeups that I wanted to do. And my client really, really wanted it. He was a buddy. And he's just like, let's do it. And I was like, you know what? No, let's do it. I have to buy 12 anyway. So if you pre-order, like if we pre-sell them, that's cool. But it's like, it's kind of one of the things where if you're in an industry, especially if it's fashion and you have a gut for something, you're like, hey, just because everyone else isn't doing this in the industry doesn't mean that I can't get 20 guys who might be sitting on the outskirts who think, oh, an all blacked out suede tassel loafer. Like, let's do it. Because it's all contrast and everything else. This one is blacked out top to bottom. It's going to be the coolest thing. And then I was like jazzed about it. And then I reached out to him and was like, dude, we got to promote this because I just signed the paperwork saying it's done deal. So like, let's do it. And he was like, cool, let's do it. So it's one of those things where it's like, in Europe and London, still, they're wearing tons of black and they love black suede. Just because in America with Alden, they're not doing it. And Alden hates using black suede, doesn't mean that it's not going to be cool.
Right.
It just means
exactly
it's going to be very centered to me. So it's like, and that's what me being an entrepreneur is me taking the risk on a judgment call that, I think is going to kick. And, maybe something I pick will, and maybe something I won't, and I'm only 4 months in. So it's like, I'm willing to kind of make those judgment calls now and kind of feel it out.